Unemployment doomsday, a two-word phrase that is as scary as it sounds for millions of unemployed Floridians, many of them your neighbors, even your family. So in the next 25 days, Congress needs to come to some sort of agreement on extending pandemic-related benefits, or that's it. The money will stop. Jocelyn Howard, who has done as much reporting on this problem really as anyone in the state, talked with unemployed Floridians who right now are on the edge of their seats as this decision could be the difference between keeping their homes or being kicked out in the cold.
I have my phone calls 10 times a day for debt collectors.
Even with pandemic unemployment assistance payments, Cynthia Guardia's life is hanging by a string.
And it's humiliating to go through that.
Guardia is receiving just over $100 per week on PUA as she struggles to find work as a massage therapist. But if Congress can't agree on extending pandemic-related benefits, she'll even lose that.
It's not a lot, but it's something.
The majority of unemployed Floridians are utilizing federal CARES Act programs as they either exhausted or don't qualify for state benefits. That means come December 26th, when those benefits are set to expire, the majority of unemployed Floridians will be left with nothing. Guardia and thousands of others are begging lawmakers.
Stop playing politician. Value our lives. Help our mental health. You can pass something at least to help with unemployment.
And the opportunity is there. A bipartisan group of lawmakers announced a COVID-19 relief proposal today. But if Congress fails to act, 12 million unemployed Americans will lose their benefits by the end of the month. Jocelyn Howard, First Coast News, on your side.